Yello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Shakes and Fidget Free to Play Playthrough. Um, this episode is actually made of two cuts. I did not want to leave out the part which actually happened before the previous episode. The previous episode I wanted to record because of the Glorious Gold Galore event, and I wanted to publish it as soon as possible so that any of you can use the tip given there. However, in this episode, I will try to cover a lot of information about the fortress, and whilst it is really important, it can be postponed by a little bit. I did not want to remove the part where I explained the progress done, even though the progress is, well, staled, because in the previous episode I already showed you the progress afterwards, but still let you have a picture of how the progress went. And in this episode, I will focus on mostly the fortress itself, the development, and other stuff. If you like this type of content, don't forget to comment, share, subscribe, like video. Um, Please leave the comment if you think that I made a mistake, if you want to emphasize something, if you want me to make more of something, especially this type of content where I will focus mostly on a specific feature of the game, where I explain specific stuff and then also give some strategies, tips on how I'm gonna play it as a free to play player. So here we go. I would like now to do a quick recap of what has been going on in the life of Shakes and Fidget and on our free to play playthrough. And as well, I would like to use the opportunity and go through the situation that I currently have in the fortress. And I would like to give some tips, pointers when it comes to building the fortress and as well as how to collect the resources by attacking other players. So when it comes to our situation, we are currently level 31. As you can see, we have some gems, which means we have started our fortress. Um, in the previous episode, we had an epic. Unfortunately, or fortunately for us, we got a better weapon, increased damage, more dexterity, and there was actually the most important thing, there was a socket, and I gemmed a um, dexterity socket in it, which gives me, because it's in a weapon, double the amount of dexterity. So this is a huge, huge increase of our damage. So this is a great one. Also, by doing the dungeons, we got this epic here. It's all stats. I don't mind the old stats, especially in maybe lower levels, because it boosts your defense against the strength characters, strength players, or generally strength mobs, as well intelligence mobs. So it's actually quite good when it comes to this, and also gives you luck, dexterity, and constitution, which is always great. You can see that I gemmed here some luck. Unfortunately, I had a bad luck when doing the gem mining, so I got in total three luck gems, actually four, one I sold. So from this point of view, I just socketed it because it gives you a nice boost. Of course, I would change it if I would have a better one. I also got this one from the quest. Has a socket. I would immediately replace it, and I would socket the gem inside of it. And these two I can sell because I don't need it. So all in all, it's okay um, equipment. There is better one because you can see that from the quest. This is the last quest I did, or pre-last quest, and I got 52 total stats on the item, and here I have 27, which means I'm missing 25 stats. Here as well, here as well. So all in all, this one is really bad. So all in all, my gear needs an upgrade. I am high enough level to have better gears, but it is how it is. We will replace it in the due time. Our scrapbook is at 34%. Here is an update. Yes, there is a cooldown period on watching the ads, which enable you to skip the waiting time. So last night around 11 in the evening, I attacked players and I managed to gather, I cannot remember exact percentage, it was something around 20%, maybe 22, 23%. And today I managed to get to up to 34%, which is actually good because my guild put a requirement of 30%. So this is extremely good. I also did two additional achievements. One being is spin the wheel 20 times per day. I watched some commercials as well on the Android phone in order to get
Nice to see
the
you.
lucky coins. I had the 100 lucky coins, which I got from the um, creator code voucher thingy, and I just needed some 80, 90 more. So I was just watching the commercials until I collected enough, and then I was just spinning until I did the 20. So that's the one of the achievements which I did. Apologize. And I did this one, which is the big spender. I spent 10 mushrooms on the personal guild skills. When on this, my guild skills look like this 7, 9, which is again great thing because the guild decided that all of us need to have 6, 6 upgrades. So I am way above that, and hopefully I will soon get to 10, 10 because this is the final goal. One more thing is, and now we are starting with the fortress, is I have 5 Hall of Knights, which is not bad because you can see that the biggest is 8, most of them is like in average is like 6, let's say, and there's a lot of shroomers here, which with a 5, I'm not at all sort of objecting. So we are actually at a good point. I don't like the amount of shrooms which we have. We have only 18 shrooms, but we have done everything except the final few upgrades. I will have to calculate because I would like to keep the 50% amount. So I will have to calculate how many shrooms do I have access so I can plan my upgrades and also discuss it with the guild leader and the officers. So now I would like to go through the fortress, focus a bit on fortress, and explain the situation which I currently have, and generally how the fortress works. So this is one of the most essential parts of the game. Um, it gives you a lot of things, a lot of boosts in different areas. So it is of utmost importance to keep this updated. So first things first, the main building is generally the fortress itself, and it defines the level upgrade of all of the other buildings you have. For example, these are already built, but Mage Tower, I need Fortress level 7 to be able even to build Mage Tower. After that, I can keep it the same level as Fortress if I'm not mistaken, but in general, I need level 7 even to build it first time. So this is one of the main things which Fortress does. The second main thing is it defines the amount of stone and wood which you can store in your fortress. I currently have 6,500 out of 12 and almost 2,000 out of 4,000. Next level, 23 and 7.6 thousand. So this is the second one. And the third one gives you the access to Hall of Knights, which, if you have enough stone and wood, you can upgrade. Each level of Hall of Knights adds up to the total guild amount of Hall of Knights upgrades, which impacts the strength of the gems you can mine in your fortress, in your gem mine of your fortress. So this is extremely, extremely important because after unlocking fortress, which means level 25, you are able to get socketed items, which means they will have this little circle where you can put gems into it, and the more um, Hall of Knights upgrades you have, the better gems will be. So, for example, this is the latest gem I mined. It's 97 stats. This is one of the first ones here, actually, 65. So you can see there is 30 more dexterity on this gem. So this is why it's really, really important to do your Hall of Night upgrades. Now, the second most important building in the fortress is laborers' quarters. This building decreases the time needed to build a building in your fortress. It increases by percentages, up 5% per each level, up to 75%. The total amount, if you would not have this, the last level or the biggest time needed to upgrade single level, and this would be around, I don't know, level 15 of your fortress, would take 60 days. This is why it's extremely important to upgrade this, because if you have this all the way up to 15th level, which means 75%, it takes only 2 weeks or 15 days to upgrade. So it is really important to keep this always at the same level as fortress, because it just decreases the time needed to upgrade. Now, these two are really the main buildings, and in a normal case scenario, if you buy the fortress pack, which gives you the wood and the stone, and the 100,000 wood and 50,000 stone, you would use it to upgrade these two up to level 6/7, and you would also build a bit of quarry and woodcutter's hut. I will come to this in a second. Generally, these two would be the main things which you would build, and you would also upgrade the Hall of Knights. So these are really, really, really important to do. Now, when it comes to the other buildings, some of them are, let's say, important, or at least, let's say, out of the scale from 1 to 10, these two would be 10. The other buildings might be, let's say, 7. However, there is a lot of those which are below 5. I will first cover those. These are the Archery Guild, the Mage Tower, and the Fortification. So these three are really not important and are actually counterproductive if you build them, or actually, not if you build them, but if you use them. So the first one, these three are defense buildings, and you should not be building defense. So, first, fortification, you need to build it because it is required for smithy. However, never upgrade it more than level 1. I will explain in a second, just to cover for archery and mage tower. So the archery and mage tower just gives you the possibility to recruit archers. I have it already here, and mages. I don't have it because I still did not build it. These two type of units are defense units, so you cannot attack with them. But if you are being attacked, they will defend your resources. The point is actually not these resources, but these resources. The point is that if you build defense, players are less likely to attack you. So you would get a lot of resources stacked, and then there will be a player who has better attack than you have defense. He would attack you and steal a lot of your resources. Whilst, on the other hand, if you do not build resources, you will be attacked quite regularly. However, you will have this shield here, which is a partial protection shield, which decreases the amount of resources that the enemies, the other players, can steal from you. And the point is that this shield can expire if you have defense, because people will be less likely to attack you. So from this point of view, you should not build defenses. This would enable you to have the permanent protection shield, and the only resources that people would steal would actually not steal from you, because how the attacking goes is that they take partial resources from you, but the game gives them a specific amount of resources on top of what they steal from you. So they would still keep attacking you because they still get resources from the game itself, from the engine itself. However, you would have the partial protection, which would protect your resources. So these should not the units should not be built. The buildings themselves you can build in order to get honor in the fortress and move up the ranks. This is especially important if you have your fortress buddy, which I will cover a bit later. Um, then all the others are, let's say, some six level of importance. First, the two buildings, the production buildings. For me as a free-to-play player, they're extremely important, at least at the beginning, because I don't have the pack, so I don't have the resources in order to upgrade the fortress, build anything. So from this point of view, they're really important for me. For the normal players, especially if you have a fortress buddy, it is also quite important because this would define the amount of resources which first you can steal, and second, which game will give you on top. So you do need to upgrade these two. They also give you the honor in the fortress ranking, so you would be able to be in the range of your fortress buddy. But again, I will cover this in a second. The next building is the barracks, which enables you to recruit soldiers in order to attack other players and gather resources in that way. Then the next one is treasury. I did two levels of treasury just because it's cheap. In generally, you should not be upgrading it. Um, However, the treasury gives you the increased back space. So you can see that I have two more than usually. And the last one is the academy, which gives you a certain amount of experience per the level of the academy. This is quite important on a higher level. On a smaller level, it just does not pay off in a context of costs and the amount of experience it gives you. You should be investing the cost somewhere else. The very last building, I actually saved it for last, is because it is let's say between the importance, if these two are 10, these couple are 8, 6 or 7, this is an 8 to 9, maybe even 10, because this one gives you the possibility to mine gems as well as keys for dungeons. You can see here, if I go to this dungeon, it says find the key in the gem mine. So you need to mine gem. And also, it gives you the possibility to mine the Heart of Darkness. Heart of Darkness, I will cover in later episodes when we get to that point. At this point in time, it's most important to know that it enables you to mine gems. There are in total um, 7 type of gems. Um, There is one of each color representing each one of the attributes. So there is a strength, which is a blue one. There is a dexterity, a yellow one. Intelligence, a green one. You can see it here. Constitution, a purple one, and luck, which is a red one. So they just give a specific stat and a certain amount. Let's say 100. The sixth type of gem is a black gem, which is an all stat gem, which means gives you all of the stats. However, bear in mind, the all stat gem usually gives you less a specific stat, however, gives you more of the total. So, for example, I mentioned 100 dexterity gem, gives you 100 dexterity, of course. The all stat gem would give you 40 all stat. So it gives you 60 less dexterity, but gives you 40 of all of the other stats. The In order to mine a black gem, at least one of the players in your guild needs to have Hall of Knights at level 15 or higher. The more people have, the more people in the guild have level 15, the higher the chance of you mining the black gem, the All-Star gem. The last gem is the legendary gem, arguably the best gem in the game. It gives you two stats, two main stats, and this is your damage stat, dexterity in my case, and the constitution, so the hit points gem. So this one gives somewhere in between of a single stat gem and all stat gem. So for example, again, 140, this would give you 60 of dexterity and 60 of constitution. This is definitely the best gem out of there, and I can actually use the opportunity to show you on my character from EU2. So this is the gem, the legendary gem. It gives you intelligence and constitution because this is a mage and it's the main um, stat is the intelligence. In order to mine this gem, you need to have at least one legendary item identified in your scrapbook, which is actually you need to get a legendary item. As you can see, I have 2, 4, 6, 7 legendary items. So I have some 1, 2%, maybe a bit more than 2% chance to mine a legendary gem. And as I said, this is the best, arguably the best gem there is out there. The only problem with the legendary gems or the legendary items, the only way to get legendary items is when there is a legendary dungeon. And this is once in every 3 months that legendary dungeon is open. It requires you to be level 50 at least, and it requires you to finish the legendary dungeon and kill the last boss in order to get a legendary item. So this we will cover, of course, in one of the later episodes when we have a legendary dungeon. But just to know that this scam as well does exist. Um, Now, when it comes to the, let's say, strategy around the fortress, um, first thing first, most important tip, I would say, next to the one which I already mentioned, not to build defenses, is to keep your gem at level 1, gem mine at level 1, until you reach the level required to unlock the underworld. This is around level 130 or something like that. And by that level, you don't need gem mine higher than level 1. Only at level 130, you would need a gem mine level 10 in order to be able to mine Heart of Darkness. So you keep this one. The main reason for this is because mining on a level 1 gem mine is costs 150 gold and costs like 10 wood and 5 stone or something like this, and lasts for less than 1 hour. Whilst if you would be level 5 or level 10, it would take hours and it would cost a lot of resources. So, no reason to do it on a smaller level. The higher the level does give you boost on your gems. However, it just does not pay off with the additional time and the gold needed to mine the gems themselves. So keep this at level 1 until you are level 130 or 40. You can start upgrading at level 100, let's say, so that it is somewhere available at the same time as you are um, reaching that level. So, the strategy around this is, as I said, to keep this upgraded as much as possible. But in order to do that, you need resources. And here I just recently, let's say, developed the strategy. It's by no mean a personal. Uh, I don't think I am the main creator of this strategy. I did not find it anywhere, but it is driven by the strategy, which is Fortress Body strategy. And now to explain the fortress body strategy. The idea is to have a friend in your guild, which will be your fortress body. Bear in mind that at the beginning you cannot attack a person from your guild, so one of you needs to leave the guild. You start attacking yourselves, and once you start attacking yourselves, the counter attacks which are enabled can be done between guild members, at least to my knowledge. So from this point of view, you can then um, enter the guild and continue doing it like that. I could be wrong here. I will correct myself later on, but just bear in mind the Fortress Body is the idea that you have a person where two of you would exchange the attacks. The idea of exchanging attacks is only possible if two of you are within plus minus 50 range in the Hall of Fame. So, for example, I can attack this one or this one, but I cannot attack this one here because he is 100 out of my range. So, the idea is that when you click attack, you can here do a change opponent. You click change opponent until you find your fortress buddy and you attack him. And you repeat this couple of times. Once you do that, in the mail, that person will receive something like this. That the person attacked you. You can then save these attacks until you have enough soldiers and you would counterattack him. When you counterattack him, he would get the possibility to counterattack. Rinse and repeat. So the idea is just to be in the range, because if you are out of range, you would not be able to attack him. So from this point of view, what you would be doing is always making sure that you are within the range of each other. And this is where these buildings come into play, because if you see that one of you is out of the range, the player which is lower should just do an upgrade of an archery guild, and he would climb 10, 15 ranks, and you would be in range, and you continue. And this strategy I took and I adjusted it to the point of view that I don't have a level body, fortress body, excuse me. So the point is following. Um, the strategy I used before was given to me by some guild members saying you always attack with one soldiers, regardless if you lose or win, you attack with one soldier. Never attack with more soldiers because it's a waste of resources. You use a soldier attack just to shuffle the attack. So for example, this one, I can win, so I will just attack one. This one, again, I will win. I hope that I will get someone which I would not win. So maybe this one I will lose, but it's not a problem. Yes, I lost. However, it still shuffled the player. So you would just attack until you reach this opportunity, and you would attack. It would reshuffle. I have now changed opponents. I would change it. I would use the opportunity to change it because I don't want to lose a soldier when I can change the opponent. So I will change, and I will continue attacking. And okay, I should have changed it here, but whatever. So this one, so for example, even though it's my last soldier, I want to showcase how I improved the strategy, or I changed the fortress body strategy to work for me, for a free to play player. Is if I now attack, I lose a soldier. I also cannot change an opponent unless I pay gold. Never do this. It's a waste of gold, because if you go to your mail and you search through your emails, you will find that someone attacked you. Save these. You can just click here, and this would pin the fight on top. You go to this one, you go to counterattack, and you can see that you can counterattack this guy. And I will counterattack him, I will win, and it would, unfortunately, I don't have any more soldiers, but it would shuffle the the player you can attack. So what you are actually doing is, by saving these and counter-attacking them, you are using these counter-attacks to shuffle the player you can attack here. So you will always attack if it's sort of green, if you can win. If you cannot, you use the change opponent if it's free. And if it's not free, you go to mail, go to one of the pin fights you did, and attack a player which you can win there. Once you win, it would reshuffle here. You continue attacking here. I never attack more than one here unless the shuffled player in the fortress is a loss. Then I attack here again and rinse and repeat, just doing it like that. So that's more or less it. And now I can actually upgrade the fortress. So that's more or less it. This is easiest personally strategy for me how to get the resources, and I think I'm doing fine. I'm level 5, upgrade level 6 just now. In 2 minutes, I will have a gem mine being finished. I will mine another gem. So um, I don't have a better tip than this one. If I find some other tips as well, I will be sure to add them in the description or on the video in the editing part. But in general, this is more or less to know about the fortress itself. Other stuff like Underworld, I will cover later once we reach that level. I wanted actually quickly to showcase you because last time I did not have enough soldiers to show you how the attacking process works. Um, Actually, before that, I just wanted to quickly digress. So I built a smithy. So I built a mage tower actually, which means I'm fortress level 7. I built a mage tower and I built a smithy and I upgraded to level 4. Main reason is because I want to improve my soldiers a bit just to be able to win a bit more fights, as some players do not sort of use this approach of not building defenses. So some of them do build defenses, and even though I can skip them, sometimes they have good resources. I would like to attack them. As mentioned in the previous episode, I said if you build defenses, people are less likely to attack you, which means you would build resources, and then someone will attack you, which is able to win you and will steal a lot more resources because you will not have the shield. So from this point of view, I want to be one of those attacking players so that I can win a lot more resources. So I did build Smithy. However, I like you can see here that I think I maybe upgraded 2 times. They start at level 20, I think. Yeah, 20. So 25, 30. I upgraded 2 times. I can still upgrade 2 times, but I don't want to spend resources at the moment. Also, I upgraded treasury 2 more times. Again, mainly because the upgrade is quite low. Like this is 1,300. I get this in 2 attacks, 3 attacks maybe. So while this is upgrading, I will get this by just attacking with 2 soldiers. It's not a problem. It's low resources. Both my fortress and library quarter are level 7. So the next upgrade I will have, I'm also capped out for the Hall of Knights. So the next upgrade is exactly the fortress, which means I need 7,000 more stone. Now, to the attacks. Um, so how the attacks work, I have 12 soldiers. The attacks are, as I mentioned, easy enough. So this is a best case scenario for me to show you how it would work. So as you can see here, I will lose no matter what. Both these both of these defenses are much higher level than I am. I'm level 30 soldiers, and these are 40. No way I can win. I will not even try. I can change opponent for free once. I will do it again. Really, really good example. Again, these two are much higher than me. I cannot do anything. So what I would go is I would go to my mail and I will go to the saved or the pinned uh, fortress fights, so attacks which I received. I will always go from the bottom because these are the oldest ones. I will always go from the oldest ones. And I will do a counter attack. I go counter attack. This one, again, I cannot win, so I will just unpin it and remove it. I go next one. This one I will win. I attack with 1 soldier. I win. Now, I could go back to mail and find another, but I first want to check if there might be now a green attack. Again, not. So I will go here. This one I already fought, so I will remove it. This one here, counter attack, not. This one here, counter attack, yes. So we attack, we win. Again, attack. Again, I cannot. So we go here. This one I already did. This one I can. So we again go to attack, and now I can hear attack. So this is what I mentioned in the previous episode. You use the mail to shuffle here so that you can attack here. You win. Again, I can attack. Just FYI, since I'm playing on a Steam app, I can use the enter and the arrows to attack and assign soldiers. Just If you're worried, how am I doing it without moving the mouse? It's keyboard function. So again, mail. This one I already attacked. You can see there is no counter attack. Remove counter attack. No way. This one, yes. And that's more or less how it works. You can see I have three soldiers left. Let's just finish this before I uh, give you a tip on the next one. There it is. So I finished. And as you can see, I started with 2,000 or something like this. I now have 6,000. This is exactly the reason why I upgraded Treasury, because I got 4,000 for one set of attacks. And the training of the soldiers is cheap enough. I will just quickly do a dungeon for you because I just unlocked this dungeon some half an hour ago, and I should win this because I am here until level 44 and here until level 50. So it should be easy. This should be easy win. Yeah, it is. So I have been pushing the dungeons which are above my level just for the experience, for items, gold, and whatever not. So that's it. That was a bit of Fortress introduction, Fortress 101, you can call it. I hope you liked it. And if I made a mistake somewhere, please leave a comment. I think I covered all of the basic stuff and this basic free to play strategy, let's call it. And I hope you like it and use it in your gameplay. See ya.